Welcome everyone and thanks so much for joining me today as we dive into another unbelievable story from the world of rare coins, a world where a tiny piece of metal, something most people overlook every single day, can suddenly become a life-changing treasure worth millions. And in this video we're talking about the astonishing case of the 2020 1-cent coin, a coin that ordinary people handle without thinking. A coin that most of us have probably tossed into a drawer, slipped into a pocket, or forgotten at the bottom of a purse or backpack, yet this particular coin has created waves across the collecting community because a single example with dramatic and extremely rare errors has been valued at an incredible $10 million, and today we're going to take a deep dive into why this happened, what kinds of errors could possibly elevate a modern penny to such a staggering value, how these errors might have formed inside the minting process, what clues collectors look for to determine authenticity, and the endless possibilities that make a 2020 penny such a fascinating case study in the unpredictable world of mint mistakes. And as we explore this, we're going to discuss every detail, from die errors to planchet problems to striking anomalies to post-strike mysteries, building a complete picture for coin collectors, coin hunters, and casual viewers alike who want to understand how something so small can become so valuable. And by the end of this script you'll see why experts, enthusiasts, and investors consider this particular 2020 1-cent coin not just a rare piece of minting history but a true phenomenon that sparks conversations about quality control, human error, random minting events, and the pure luck involved when such an extraordinary coin escapes into circulation instead of being detected and destroyed. And so as we begin, imagine someone out there holding a common copper-plated zinc penny struck in Denver during the year 2020, a year filled with challenges, disruptions, and shifts in production routines, and hidden among millions of standard pennies, one specific coin emerged with a combination of mistakes so dramatic that it has no true equal, a coin that made collectors pause, reevaluate what is possible, and set new expectations for how errors can drastically elevate the value of a modern coin to the realm of multi-million-dollar collectibles. And when people first learned about this $10 million 2020 penny, the immediate reaction was disbelief, because most modern pennies are mass-produced in enormous quantities and rarely display any extreme minting errors, especially because quality control in recent years has improved compared to earlier decades, yet the mint is still a massive industrial operation where high-speed machines strike thousands of coins per minute, and even with exceptional oversight, strange things can still happen when metal, machinery, heat, pressure, and timing collide in the wrong way at the wrong moment, creating unexpected results that go unnoticed until years later when a sharp-eyed collector, a hobbyist searching through change, or even a casual person curious about coins discover something unusual, and those unusual traits are precisely what define this extraordinary 2020 penny, making it a treasure unlike anything else from its year of production. So let's break down the errors themselves, the possible sequence of events that created them, and why experts consider this coin a once-in-a-generation discovery whose combination of mistakes is unlikely to ever be repeated again, beginning with one of the most significant characteristics, the dramatic die-related anomalies found on both sides of the coin, which indicate that the dies used to strike this particular penny may have been damaged, misaligned, or improperly prepared in a way that caused distortions visible in every major design element, from Lincoln's profile to the lettering of Liberty, to the date itself and the mintmark D. And one of the strangest aspects collectors noticed is that the mintmark position appears shifted compared to typical 2020 placements, suggesting the die may have loosened or been improperly secured, causing it to shift slightly each time the press came down, and this misalignment could have contributed to doubling or distortion in other parts of the design. Because when a die shifts or moves unexpectedly, every strike reflects a small echo or shadow in areas where the metal failed to fill the design properly. And this leads us into the possibility that the coin features a type of doubling error that is far more dramatic than typical double dies found in earlier years, because on this coin, the doubling is not subtle or limited to a single word but appears across multiple design elements simultaneously, creating a layered and exaggerated effect that experts consider extremely rare for modern pennies. And when this doubling appears alongside die cracks, die breaks, or die chips, small raised blobs of metal created when tiny sections of the die break away, the result is a combination of errors that a normal minting run would never produce intentionally, and even the mint's inspection machines would likely miss a coin like this if it passed through at just the right moment of high-speed production. And another striking feature analysts noticed is that the coin shows signs of having been struck on an improperly prepared planchet, which means the blank piece of metal used to make the penny may not have been shaped or coated correctly before striking, and if a planchet is malformed, too thin, too thick, cracked, incomplete, clipped, or improperly alloyed, the final coin can exhibit distortions that no amount of striking pressure can hide, and in this case the coin demonstrates symptoms consistent with a planchet defect, such as uneven thickness, strange texture variations under magnification, and irregular metal flow patterns, especially near the rim, where the excess or missing metal becomes more obvious because the striking pressure compresses the perimeter first, and if the rim fails to form correctly, or if the metal fails to push evenly outward during the strike, the coin may show weakness or bulging that is immediately recognizable to experts as a serious minting error. And one of the most exciting possibilities discussed by collectors is that the 2020 D penny may have been struck on a transitional or foreign planchet, meaning it could have been accidentally struck not on a standard copper-plated zinc blank but on a leftover or misfed blank intended for another denomination or even another country's coinage, and although this may sound far-fetched, it has happened several times throughout minting history, especially when foreign coin production overlaps with domestic strikes, leading to the accidental mixing of blanks, and if that occurred in 2020, the wrong metal planchet would produce a coin with incorrect weight, sound, coloration, and magnetic properties, instantly making it one of the most valuable mint errors possible, and the fact that this particular 2020 D coin displays several physical traits inconsistent with normal pennies has led some specialists to consider this possibility very seriously, and if the coin is indeed struck on the wrong metal, that alone could elevate its value into the millions, even before adding the additional die errors and striking anomalies that further increase its rarity. But speaking of striking errors, this coin also appears to exhibit a dramatic off-center strike, or at least a partial off-center effect, because sections of the design appear shifted toward one side, creating uneven borders between the rim and inner devices, and while slight misalignment is common, dramatic off-center strikes are extremely rare when combined with multiple die and planchet errors, and such a combination suggests a moment during minting when the feeder mechanism may have malfunctioned, positioning the planchet incorrectly beneath the dies, and when the press came down, the design was not delivered directly into the center of the metal, creating an off-kilter appearance that collectors find highly desirable, and, as if all these errors were not enough, some reports suggest the 2020 D penny bears evidence of a multiple strike event, meaning it may have been struck more than once either because the planchet failed to eject correctly after the first strike, or because it shifted slightly before receiving another impression, and this could create overlapping images, ghost-like doubling, flattened areas, or partial mirror designs, and when multiple strikes occur on an already defective planchet using already damaged dies, the result is a coin that represents a perfect storm of minting chaos. A coin that embodies the unpredictable nature of high-speed production where thousands of components must function in harmony for each penny to emerge clean and uniform, and when even one component malfunctions, the entire process can produce unique anomalies that collectors cherish, and in the case of this 2020 D penny, the variety of errors creates a once-in-a-lifetime example that breaks all expectations, and because no two error coins are identical, especially when multiple complex mistakes occur simultaneously, this single 2020 D penny becomes even more valuable because its error combination cannot be replicated intentionally, making it effectively unique, and rarity is the foundation of value in numismatics, which explains why this coin skyrocketed to a $10 million valuation. But beyond the technical errors, collectors also consider the historical and emotional context surrounding coins, and 2020 was a year filled with disruptions, including operational changes at various institutions, and some mint facilities faced unusual workloads, altered staffing, and fluctuating production conditions, all of which could contribute to increased likelihood of unusual